Hey folks, I'm Garen Carlin, Mosses Creek Outdoors. I'm going to tell you a little Thanksgiving story here, actually from a deer stand. You know, I can get out here in the outdoors and get to hunting and sitting around, and I find myself ending up in a lot of places where I remember memories from many years ago with buddies and friends and family members and my granddad. Just a lot of memories hit you when you get out in the outdoors around different places. You know, one of the main things to always remember and cherish involving the outdoors is you get out somewhere and you get to thinking about, well, I remember, my granddad being over here with me, or my grandmother, or an uncle, or just any friend or family member, and that means a lot. That memory will stick and it'll be in your mind for the rest of your life. So this time of the year, just be grateful and thankful for who you got when it comes to your family and your loved ones. I lost my granddad in 2011, and it's one of the hardest things I've ever been through in my life. I'm thankful that I still got my grandmother. Her and I has been able to create some amazing memories involving turkey hunting the last couple of years. So this little story that I'm going to tell here is involving a deer hunt where my granddad assisted me his very last time on helping me get a big buck out of the woods on Thanksgiving morning. I had a trend going there one time. I killed a buck on Thanksgiving morning about 6 or 7 years in a row. I kind of classified Thanksgiving as being my favorite morning of the whole season to hunt. So what I done here that morning, I walked down here behind the house, and I had this old ladder stand leaning up on the ditch bank overlooking about a 15-acre field. I first got in the stand about daylight, and I sit there till about 8:30 or a little after. It was really cold that morning, and I'd been watching a few turkeys along as well. But this particular morning started out real foggy, and that's the way I like it lots of times. So I was sitting on that stand overlooking this field, and I didn't ever see a single deer from the stand. Some cases I'll see it all day long, but on this morning I climbed down about 9 o'clock and I walked directly across the field to the creek. And in the middle of the creek there was a sandbar. So I walked down the bank and just thought I would stand on that sandbar for a few minutes and just watch and listen, because there was a big huge ridge to my west on the other side of the creek, and bigger bucks has been known over time to come off of that ridge. So I stood on that sandbar maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and a doe went by up on the creek bank on the other side, maybe 20 yards or less from me. And about a minute behind her, I could hear the buck coming. And little as I knew, I was fixing to shoot the biggest buck that I had ever shot yet in my life. And it was so amazing. I looked up, it may be 15 yards, and there he was. All I could see was this huge rack. He stopped dead still and looked the other direction. I just raised my rifle to my shoulder and pulled the trigger, and he dropped in his tracks. Only problem, there was a deep spot in the creek between the sandbar that I was on and the bank on the other side, and I had to figure out a way to get across that. So I ended up getting with my granddad and letting him know what had happened, that I had killed a huge buck. And he came back with me, and I had to have some dry pants and some more shoes, and because I had to wade the creek up to my belt line to get over there to get him and pull him back across. And that water was really cold. I mean, bad cold. And most of the old timers in this part of the country would tell you the water in Moss's Creek is a good bit colder than any other creek around. But I managed to get over to the other side, got a hold of him by the horn, and floated him back across the creek. And my granddad helped me drag him up the bank on the other side. Just couldn't hardly believe it. A big 10-pointer. We soon field dressed him right in that spot. And my granddaddy, he stated that looked like the absolute biggest deer he had ever seen in his life. He said his body looked literally almost like a mule. He was so big. Moments like this is the reason that I have spent probably well over half of my life in the outdoors. And it's a real pleasure being able to tell these type of stories many years later. So just remember, be grateful and especially thankful for everybody and all you loved ones. So appreciate y'all watching. Until next time, from the great outdoors, I'm Garen Carlin, Moss's Creek Outdoors, and I'll see you.
I'll take the dirt road, it's all I know. I've been walking it for years, it's gone where I need to go. It ain't easy, it ain't supposed to be. So I'll take my time, and life won't pass me by, 'cause it's right there to find. I'll take the dirt road, it's all I know. I've been walking it for years, it's gone where I need to go. It ain't easy, it ain't supposed to be. So I'll take my time, and life won't pass me by, 'cause it's right there to